All right. So there's gonna be a series. I'm gonna wait for people to come in. I'm assuming nobody's here yet, obviously. So let's just wait a little bit. But this is kind of for the, I guess, the VOD portion, for lack of a better term. But I will be discussing some of Cesar Chavez today as a Latino person, especially a Mexican man from Los Angeles. I do think it is my duty to at least talk about him somewhat, right? It's to emphasize, I'm not a historian. I'm not an expert regarding this topic, but I'm more talking about how I view this person, or have viewed this person, was taught to view this person, and yeah. So that's pretty much what we're going to jump into. For those of you who are unaware, uh, Cesar Chavez is a civil rights leader, specifically for farmers in the U.S. From my understanding, that movement started in California, and I think overall the movement has done good for farmers in the country. I think the only downside about that movement is the fact that Cesar Chavez is the face of it. I think as time has gone on, more and more people have kind of disagreed with the fact that Cesar Chavez is the face of this movement, and yeah, and but we'll jump into it. We'll get really, really, really into it. I read this and broke down yesterday. I'm so excited. He's always problematic. Yep, he was always, from my understanding, he was always a bit problematic. And hola, ¿cómo estás? Estoy bien. ¿Y usted? Or ¿y tú? Because people got mad at me for saying ¿y usted? One time, read this, broke down, read about it, but I don't know anything. I'm ready to learn. And that's the other thing, is just here's what's funny about 'cause I was thinking about it today regarding, and also I'm gonna keep looking to the side, and also might get up a few times because Mia, for the most part, is allowed to free roam around the house, obviously with supervision from me and Leslie. She had a long nap today, and the last thing I want to do is keep her trapped. So Mia's just roaming around. So you might see me get up pretty frequently today to go get her and place her back, or look over and call her over so she would come to me. But Mia is mostly around to free roam. There's nothing really dangerous for her to touch, so I'm not really too worried about her getting hurt. But if I am getting distracted, or if I am kind of getting up and coming back, it's because I am also taking care of Mia. And yeah, I don't want to keep her trapped in one place just like the streams. So she's just walking about and move around. So yeah. Um, but yeah, like I was saying, there's been these huge allegations against Cesar Chavez. I will emphasize he is a civil rights leader, mostly for farmers. If you don't know, he famously was a participant, or helped create a massive grape strike, where I believe the farmers stopped picking grapes, and or it was a boycott. Here you go, the Lano grape strike. Due to larger consumer boycott and non-union grapes when a collective bargaining agreement. So yeah, and yeah, it wasn't just Cesar Chavez who was. I mean, he was obviously the face for it, but it was obviously multiple people who worked here. And like I will emphasize, I'm not a historian. I'm not an expert. This mostly comes from memory because I'm taught this in school, and yeah, he growing up, he was pushed kind of like a big deal. He for lack of better terms, he was presented as like the Mexican Martin Luther King. He was very, very highly regarded to a lot of people, to especially towards Latino and Mexicans in Los Angeles. We have a street here called Cesar Chavez. Was it Avenue? But we have a street named after Cesar Chavez too. Lots of murals of Cesar Chavez around Los Angeles. So very, very highly respected. And but as time goes has gone on, Cesar Chavez has been exposed more and more of being kind of a extremely problematic person, someone who is, some people will call him a self-hating Mexican, others will call him racist towards Mexicans from Mexico. He was mostly he was very anti-immigration. There's like a lot of interviews of him talking about or at least one particular. Always see if we can find one right now. Cesar Chavez. And also, I think the proper pronunciation for Latinos is Cesar Chavez. I know a lot of people say Cesar Chavez. I'm used to saying Cesar, so I'll be calling him Cesar the whole time. On immigration. There you go. And trigger warning: he does say a slur. So
Does that put you in an uncomfortable position um, to be against the illegal immigrants because they are from Mexico? In other words, part of your program has been an appeal to equal treatment of people of Mexican origin.
Oh
Right?
yeah, sure, but we're speaking of the legal ones. You know, we don't want Mexico to export its poverty to us, and then we pay. It's not the agriculture, it's not society in general. It's a farm worker again paying for those sins. The citizen is out of a job because of the wetbacks. They're coming in by the thousands, just unbelievable. See, they're coming in with a consent.
Cuando viene otro abuelo, cuando se vencen los contratos y no
there you go. And it didn't end there. When the contracts expired and the ranchers didn't want to sign new contracts, we had to bring out
no
another strike.
no quieren firmar otra vez los rancheros en los contratos,
Otra huelga.
tuvimos que estallar otra huelga.
Bueno,
Y como seguía la creencia de que eran los indocumentados,
Says there is still belief that it was the undocumented workers to blame. Cesar set up a wetline along the sorry, and that's the other thing, right? He was he was one of those who believed genuinely that what's it called that like immigrants or people who didn't speak English and all that were like part of the issue, which is something that I don't agree with, or a lot of Latinos will not agree with as well. I'm just pulling a bunch of cables right now. I wonder why he's known as Cesar Chavez and not Cesar Estrada Chavez. I don't know.
Chávez puso en la frontera se llamó la línea mojada. Cada tanto de distancia ponía una caseta,
The Chavez Border Patrol.
carpas con lona con miembros de
At regular distance intervals, he set up stands, canvas tents with union members to help Immigration Border Patrol detain
la,
undocumented
Unión
workers.
para ayudar a la migración a detener los indocumentados. Yo no participé, yo no quise.
For over a century,
He was civil rights icon, especially farmers. This to me come out of nowhere. I don't want to say come out of nowhere. I think how people perceive Cesar Chavez has been kind of like piling up. Like I said, I was mostly taught kind of like the surface level information regarding him, right? Civil rights leader. He's pro Mexican. Mia, please don't. She's like going underneath my desk. Sorry, mamas. But what was I saying? Yeah, service always civil rights. Like I said, presented as the Mexican Martin Luther King. But as time went on, is this the interview I just showed you where he's calling a docu Mexicans a slur? It was it's very kind of like disheartening and kind of gross because as someone myself who has who had documented parents, they're citizens now, but I come from that kind of lineage, and to be told that like someone like my mom is someone who is unwelcome here or brings down the value of Mexicans in the United States is so it's so crazy to me, and it's so like gross and disgusting and disrespectful, and also just like I don't know. It's this weird I got mine's attitude that people like Cesar Chavez has, and this isn't like an uncommon, unfortunately, not an uncommon opinion from Mexicans who grew up in the U.S. It's extremely common, but at the same time, not to kind of give him credit, from my understanding, during this time period around the '60s and the '50s, there's this weird divide between Mexicans from Mexico and Mexican Americans, where Mexicans from Mexico did not see Mexican Americans as true Mexicans. And in a sense, to give credit to the Mexicans from Mexico, they are kind of right. You know, they're as it's a hard pill to swallow for a lot of Latinos who live in the U.S., but there is a significant difference between being a Latino from the U.S. and a Latino from the country of origin. The culture, how you grew up, how you speak, the type of Spanish you speak. It's a very different thing, and it especially nowadays. It's very difficult for Mexican or Latino Americans to kind of accept that there is a difference between us, but there is, you know, you as hard as it is for you to accept, you will never ever be a true Mexican or wherever country of origin your Latin's from. You will always be a Mexican American, a Salvadoran American, Guatemalan American, wherever your country of origin is. And that's just because it's such a different upbringing and different culture, you know. Gotta go back to where I have a good stream, yeah. So I think because of that there was like a divide between, you know, Mexican and Mexican Americans, right? You know, I think there was an interview I saw with who was he? I think Cheech. What was his name? Cheech talks about, and I think this kind of information is always is it this one? There's like an interview where he talks about Chicano culture. All right, hold on, I gotta get Mia before she falls. She's going nuts right now. It's like she knows I'm streaming. If it, let's see if it's this one. Hold on.
Obviously because of the song and the movie, but you actually weren't. You were
No.
born in South Central, right?
I was born in South Central, 36 in San Pedro.
36 in San Pedro.
Yeah.
So there was raza down there back in the day.
Very little.
Really? You were the minority there?
Yeah, it was all black. And when I grew up, I lived there from the time I was born till I was 10. And then we moved from South Central to Granada Hills. And then in the San Fernando Valley. So like one day everybody was black and then the next day everybody was white.
Wow.
Or it wasn't this interview. There's another interesting one I saw where he talks about Chicano culture. All right, I think it's this one.
When I was growing up, is yo, hey Mexican, you know, I'm not Mexican. I've never even been to Mexico, you know. And but I knew I wasn't white, and I knew I wasn't black or Asian. And when I first heard Chicano, it was my uncle who was a policeman. My dad was a policeman too. But he said, and some guy wanted him to charge $200 for fixing his car. He said, $200, man. Give me a piece of tin foil and a pair of pliers. I'll fix it. I'm a Chicano mechanic. And I go, Chicano, that's it. That's the guy, that's the can-do spirit, man. You know, that's a Rascuache raised to an art form. And I want to be a Chicano. And that's the first time I ever heard a word that described me. Yeah, I'm a Chicano. That's what I am. I'm not this or that or the other. I'm a Chicano. I'm this other thing. And this other thing is really good. And I can fit into any culture. I can fit into any.
I mean, kind of gives you the idea, but like I said, Cheech is kind of from that time of Cesar Chavez, where they, like I said, they didn't really consider themselves Mexicans because Mexicans from Mexico didn't consider them Mexicans, and then, you know, so they went with Chicano, right? But even with that being said, you can't be so bitter to the fact that you're just like, I'm gonna get revenge on all these Mexicans for pretty much, you know, taking away my identity from me. So anyways, well, we're gonna get into the bigger allegations regarding Cesar Chavez now. So this does involve sexual assault. So if this is triggering for you or is very disturbing for you, I do recommend you you know, like not watch because it is gonna be heavy. But yeah, let's just jump into it. So the Times released an article regarding him. I think they were the first ones to kind of report on it. But here, Cesar Chavez, a civil rights icon, is accused of abusing girls for years. And Murguia remembers the day the man she had regarded as a hero called her house and summoned her to see him. She walked along the dirt trail, entered the rundown building, passed his secretary, stepped to his office. He locked the door as he always did when he called her and told her how lonely he had been. He brought her onto the yoga mat that he often used in his office for meditation, kissed her, and pulled her pants down. Don't tell anyone, he told her afterwards. They'd get jealous. The man, Cesar Chavez, was one of the most revered figures in the Latino civil rights movement. Was 45, she was 13. Miss Mugria said she was summoned for sexual encounters with him dozens of times over the next 4 years. Recently, more than 50 years later, Miss Mugria learned that a street near her home in Central California city, Bakersfield, was in the process of being renamed. City officials want to name it in honor of her abuser, Cesar Chavez Boulevard. Ms. Berria, another woman, Deborah Rojas, said that Mr. Chavez sexually abused them for years when they were girls, from 1972 to 1977. He was in his 40s, had become a powerful, charismatic figure who had captured global attention as a champion of farm workers' rights. The two girls had not shared their stories publicly before. An investigation by the New York Times had uncovered extensive evidence to support their accusations and those raised by several other women against Mr. Chavez, the United Farm Workers co-founder who died in 1993 at the age of 66. The question raised by the Times about Mr. Chavez, one of the most consequential figures in Mexican American history, immediately prompted organizations with ties to him to try to distance themselves. The UFW canceled its annual celebrations honoring Mr. Chavez, a response to what the union he once led to called profoundly shocking accusations. Marches to honor Mr. Chavez were called off in Austin, Texas, Tucson, Arizona, and elsewhere. Officials in multiple states say they would consider renaming the scores of streets and schools named in his honor. None of us knew, Gavin Newsom of California said on Wednesday, noting that he planned to discuss with legislators whether to rename the Cesar Chavez Day on March 31st. Ms. Burguia and Ms. Rojas, both of whom are now 66, were the daughters of longtime organizers who had marched in rallies alongside Mr. Chavez. He used the privacy of his California office to frequently molest Miss Maria. She said he had known her since she was 8 years old. She had become so much traumatized that she had to end her life multiple times at the age of 15. I want to die, she said. So this is the young girl. Ana Murguia in a black shirt during the United Farms Workers 1,000 Mile March, 1975. On. I don't know. Shit like this sucks, man. Where's me? Maybe it's because I have a kid. I get so emotional more. Maybe it's because I have a kid, but it's gross. It's disgusting. It's disheartening, and that's the thing. The attachment I have towards someone like Cesar Chavez is very, very, small. But also as a person of color, when you have so many very limited amount of people to look up to. I mean, obviously there's more now, but like in your history books, when you see people who fight for you and they turn off to be terrible. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel. It's very disappointing, and it's like. But if I'm not even gonna say if it's true. There's no reason for these women to lie 50 years later, especially as when they're talking about this happening to some of their young girls, right? There's no reason for them to lie, and I see a lot of people, uh, talking about it, and they're like, "Why are they talking about it now?" Because that shit's hard to talk about, especially when you're a kid, especially when you're a young girl, and especially when it's someone who is like considered extremely. Oh, my chair went down. Well, I mean, serious conversation, but especially when it's someone who's considered important, right? Cesar Chavez isn't just some guy. He's like I said, he is very very much considered like the civil rights leaders for Latinos, especially Mexicans in the United States. And even for me, it's much worse because it's a Latino from Los Angeles, not from Los Angeles, but like it's like there's so much stuff. I'm like it's hitting Mia's toy box and just pushing the chair down because Mia's moving shit here. But and like I've been saying, he was highly regarded. He was highly respected. To the point where it's almost like he was this saint. This important you know figure, right? It's like it gets to the point where it makes like me feel or like other Latinos feel is like I'm allowed to be here because of someone like Cesar Chavez, right? I'm allowed to have a better life because of someone like Cesar Chavez, right? And you grow up believing this, that because of this person, life is good, and you need to show some gratitude because if it wasn't for him organizing and him, bringing people together and him doing those speeches and talking, that I'm allowed to have a better life, right? Like in theory, I'm in my own place right now, with nice things with my kid, because of people like him. And that's what makes it so heartbreaking when you find out these people do these disgusting things. And and there's also like the moral or philosophical question where it's like, does the bad people do eliminate the good? And I think when it's this fucking bad, yes, of course. And luckily for us, Senator Chavez is not the only person who was a part of this movement. Senator Chavez was not the only person who made it all happen. It was it was a lot of people. It was multiple groups of people. It was a whole organization of people, right? As you know, it's important to emphasize. Oh, hold on. Like I said, I'm moving around a lot because of Mia. She's getting taller and she's getting more mobile. And she's getting more curious, and it's amazing. You know what babies are good at? To interrupt. Babies are good at grabbing stuff they're not supposed to. They really good at finding that, by the way. So what was I saying? But yeah, luckily there's more people involved. I think the biggest mistake we made regarding this was making Cesar Chavez the face of it all. We it's this organization, this large organization. Like I said, he was not the only person running it. He's a co-founder. I like to emphasize Cesar Chavez is a co-founder for this farmers' rights union, and I think more people need to acknowledge that, right? Uh, as I see the two other people who were a part of it. Well, I looked it up really quick. It was Dolores Huerta and Gilbert Padilla, right? These are the other two people who were also a part of it. And I think someone mentioned that Dolores was also a victim, Cesar Chavez. Um, yeah, here we go. March 26th, Huerta alleged services of sexual abuse by Cesar Chavez as part of a raging New York Times investigation as his part in sexual abuse. Huerta said Chavez raped her in his vehicle in the winter of 1966 after driving her to a secluded grape field. She said that she did not report the rape because police were hostile to the farm workers movement, and she believed that no one within the union would believe her. She also said the farm workers movement was her life's work and that she worried that reporting the assault would interfere with the movement. And that was the fucking issue back then, right? And like, and it's so frustrating saying like these women aren't coming out for whatever reason they believe they're coming out for, right? It's whatever malicious reason they personally believe that these women are coming out to talk about it. I'm going to continue with the article. It's getting kind of heavy for me. Like I said, I think having a kid, especially a daughter, makes me more emotional. But let's get back into what's been happening. So this is Ana Margria. I believe she says she was 13, 14 years old here. Extremely young girl. And he's in his 40s here. Ms. Robes says she was 12 when Mr. Chavez first touched her inappropriately, groping her breast in the same office where he meet with Ms. Murguia. When Ms. Rojas was 15, he arranged to have her stay at a motel during a weeks-long march through California, she said, and had sexual intercourse with her. Rape under state law because she's not old enough to consent. Ms. Murguia says Mr. Chavez molested her but never had intercourse with her. The abuse allegations appear to be a part of a larger pattern of misconduct by Mr. Chavez, much of which has never been publicly revealed. The Times investigation found that Mr. Chavez also used many of the women who worked and volunteered in his movement for his own sexual gratifications. His most prominent female ally in the movement, Dolores Huerta, said in an interview that he sexually assaulted her, a disclosure she has never before made publicly. Many of the women stayed silent for decades, both out of shame and fear for tarnishing the image of a man who has become the face of the Latino civil rights movement. His image on school mirrors, his birthday, a state holiday, and his birthday, a state holiday in California. I don't know, it's just a California thing. For some reason, I thought Cesar Chavez Day was a national thing. I'll sit down here for a sec. Okay. Mia's gonna be sitting on my lap. But close your ears. This heavy stuff. Wanna play with this? The findings are based on interviews with more than 60 people, including his top aides at the time, his relatives, and former members at the United Farmers. I what the W stands for. He confined with Miss Huerta and Gilbert Padilla. The Times reviewed hundreds of pages of union records, confidential emails, and photographs, as well as hours of audio recordings from the UFW board meetings. The counts of abuse that Miss Murguia and Miss Rojas were independently verified through interviews with those they confided in decades ago and in more recent years. Elements of their stories were also corroborated in documents, emails, intricacies, itineraries, and other writings from union organized supporters of Mr. Chavez and stories. The Times spoke at length with Ms. Huerta, the renowned Latina activist who helped run Farmworks Union with Mr. Chavez and coined the social justice rallying Si Se Puede, loosely translated as Yes We Can. She says she held on to a dark secret for nearly 60 years. One night during the winter, I read this. So Miss Chavez drove her out in a secluded gravefield, parked and raped her inside the vehicle. Miss Huerta, who was 36 at the time, says she chose not to report the assault to the police because of the hostility towards the movement. She described an earlier encounter in August 1960 where she said she felt pressure to have sex with him in a hotel room during a work trip in San Juan Capistrano in Southern California. Ms. Huerta later began a long-term domestic partnership with Mr. Chavez's brother Richard, with whom she had 4 children. He died in 2011. Ms. Huerta turns 96 on April 10th. Her memories of the details of the assault that night in Delano are at times hazy, but she speaks of the attack in a startling, matter-of-fact manner. She described being stunned by Mr. Chavez's aggression and then numb to it. She framed her silence at the time as not as an absence of pain, but as kind of a strategic necessity, particularly as a woman fighting for the respect of the domain-dominated world of the 1960s union organizing. Now her accusation shatters what was widely celebrated, and seemingly egalitarian bond between the two of the most influential Hispanic activists in U.S. history. Fortunately, he used some of his great leadership to abuse women and children. It's really awful. So yeah, I think this is Dolores, yeah, and Cesar Chavez right here. So, yeah, um, yeah, I won't read the entire article, uh, as I do encourage people to go read it themselves. It was a fantastic investigation done by the New York Times, and I'm very grateful that this has come out into the open. We'll read a bit more from it, and yeah, I'm gonna go through every single piece of what's going on, but we'll go through a good chunk. Like I said, I encourage everybody to read the New York Times article themselves, and it's a great piece of work. A shout out to who wrote this piece, Manny Fernandez and Sarah Huertas, or Hurt, not Huertas, it's Hertz. She looks white, so oh, Mia fell. You okay? Let's come further. All right. She's chilling now. She didn't really hurt herself. She startled herself. Keep screwing around, kid. Let me make her a bottle real quick. Here you go. No, you want me to hold you? Here, drink that water and make you a bottle. She's very antsy right now. She wants to move around a bunch. I'll get her a bottle. I got you, baby. Don't worry. Don't worry. Hold on. She's chilled out. There you go. Want your milk? There you go. Have some milk. All right, guys. I gotta dad it up sometimes, you know. This is how it is. Yeah. Let's have you lay down. Boop. Leave your toys. Enjoy your milk. Chill. You're gonna live in a different world than I do, man. You won't learn about Cesar Chavez growing up. Isn't that crazy? Right? My daughter's not gonna have to. She would not have to learn about this guy at all, or very much will have a different version of the story. The air pushed her. Nah, she's just. It's because she's very adamant and going digging through her toy box. Girly down, oh baby, no meal. You're a nerd, bro. No, not a nerd. I'm cool. Let me read some of what you guys been saying. Were you born 96 too? No, I was born 95. Unless you're talking about something else, just pure misogyny. Can't balance. What a shitty dude. No. There pushed her. Yeah, it's cool. Remember stream looks odd today. Yeah. Very odd stream. And from here, from you man here. He was already satisfied, yeah. But she didn't hurt herself. She was fine. She mostly startles herself. Dude, she's doing like a pro move right now. She's drinking her bottle with one hand. 95 a baby. Dude, I wish I was a baby. But yeah. I was trying to say her name and zoom in a bit more for you guys too. I was trying to say her name in Spanish, but I think she might be a white woman. I can't tell. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. She's white or Latino. Shout out to them. Fantastic. What? What happened? I was reading it just fine. There you go. Dude, why are they messing with me? I was reading it just fine. I was reading it just fine. Hold on. Give me a sec, guys. Let me just pay for it real quick. Uh, Suspect you're a robot. I'm not a robot. Well, whatever. Can't read anymore. They blocked me, but it is up to watch for anybody or read. Great work, great investigation work. And yeah, I did see that our mayor was it Carol Bass, Karen Bass, always forget. Cesar Chavez. I will pay for the article right now. Here you go. Bear Bass signs proclamation renaming LA Cesar Chavez Day as Farmers Workers Day. So that is a difficult day, said the morning news conference. The last 3 hours have been very painful, very difficult. Cesar Chavez, I had the honor of meeting once, and I thought it was the opportunity of a lifetime. I heard the painful story from the sister that I admire so much, Dolores Huerta. My heart broke for what she went through. Very, very sad. Do need on switch accounts though. So I'm not gonna put it on this account. So I do want to continue reading the article. And these people do deserve to get paid. Hold on. I'm gonna put the password in my give me a sec, folks. I should have bought it before. I thought I did the free trial, but I got scammed. He scammed me. He scammed me. All right, we have fundraising march in his honor every year here in San Antonio. I wonder what they honor about it. I think everything's just gonna be renamed, right? That's what I'm assuming. Either they're gonna rename everything, or they're just gonna get rid of them. You know what can you do, right? Like he made his choices. You know, you didn't have to do that, especially when you and that's the other thing. It's like he knew he knew that he not that he would get away with it, but no, I mean he did know that. He knew he would get away with it. That's the main reason he did it. He knew that he was very important. He pretty much did what like cult members do, right? Where they know they're very important. They know nothing will be done about their degeneracy. And yeah, he got away for over 60 years, right? And the biggest downside obviously is that he'll never ever face, you know, any consequences for what he did. You know what I'm saying? Where's my wallet? That's the main thing. He's never ever gonna face consequences for what he did. But what we can do, luckily, is forget his it's tarnish his legacy, and his legacy is being tarnished, and sometimes that's good enough, right? Let's forget these people, and it's great that we have, you know, journalists putting in the work and doing the truth, because I'm pretty sure this was something that a lot of people knew about, and you know, refused to report on it, or were scared to, or were stopped before they could, right? Because like I said, the damage it feels like it will do to Latinos or to Mexicans, and it was even riskier nowadays, right? With ICE being as big as it is now, and you know, and just the anti Latino stuff that's happening around the country, this was a very risky thing to do, you know, because I could very easily see these conversations happening where they're like, can we talk about this? You know, should we talk about this? Should we report on this? And and just choosing, you know, the repeat of history, right? Where it's better to not talk about it than to what? Sorry, I can't. It won't let me subscribe. Oh, there you go. Set up your new subscription. Why does it make? Why does it make you do 50s? Just let me use the fucking site already, dude. There. Let me use the site. It's like taking me to another page, but you're like, do you here? Oh my god. Jesus Christ. All right. I purchased this, but I encourage you guys to look it up yourself. We're talking Mexican history. We're talking about Mexican degeneracy from Cesar Chavez. Mia's back under me. Come here. I'm gonna have to bring her toy box over here. He died in 1993. Oh yeah. Rest in hell, Cesar Chavez. Mia's chilling now. While I'm being bought up by AI servers. Yeah, well, yeah. You didn't catch a gun butter, but Cesar Chavez has been accused of sexual assault, specifically towards two young girls and a collaborator of his, reported women of the movement named Dolores. So yeah, I kind of want to go to this letter. Let's see. Paper trail of Mr. Chavez misconduct involving young girls can be found in very archives built to preserve his legacy. One handwritten letter on girlish stationery imprinted with roses. Mr. Rojas wrote to Mr. Chavez in January 1974 at the age of 13, shifting between childlike school updates and swooning devotion. She says she wrote the letter more than a year after he first kissed and followed her in his office in 1972 when she was a 12-year-old seventh grader. I'm really glad I got to see you and spend time with you. Well, not like that, but just to know I was near you was enough, she wrote. I think of you all the time. Do you think of me? The letter is among thousands of documents and other materials in Walter P. Reuther Library archivists at Wednesday University. Yeah, with context, this is gross. And like I already see it. Unfortunately, you're gonna see this where people are like, "Well, it looks like she has she remembers him fondly." He's like, she's a victim. She doesn't feel stupid having to like explain this to people, right? Like as to why a victim will speak so highly of their abuser. You know, like it's important to emphasize, right? This guy was highly regarded, seen as basically a saint, right? Like a Mexican saint. Was he a chomo? He was a chomo, dude. He was seen as a saint, and yeah. So for a young girl to be quote unquote chosen, obviously she has a different perception of him. Next time I visit my mom, I'm gonna ask him about him. Probably thought he was hot shit. Yeah, yeah. Trust me, his ego was through the fucking roof, from what it sounds like. Let me just say, me compa, keep up the good work as Latino. I'm proud of how you represent the community. Thank you. I try my best, man. Try my best. Which is why I'm talking about Cesar Chavez, because I think it's important to talk about. And as I've been emphasizing all stream, we know he is taught to. I went to an mostly highly populated Latino middle school and high school, so we were taught to pretty much highly respect Cesar Chavez. So this news is crazy. Yeah. Looking back now, Ms. Rojas says she believed then that Mr. Chavez wanted her to be a real part of his life. He told her that they would move together someday to Mexico. He told her to stay away from other boys because he'd get jealous. He told her that the Flamingo song, I Only Have Eyes for You, was their song, that every time she heard it, she should just remember that I love you. I'd love for him, Mr. Rojas said. He did his grooming very well. He should get a cabinet award for all he did. Yeah. I knew this about him, where he was like a womanizer. Affairs with adult women were chronicled in these two biographies, Matt Garcia's From the Jaws of Victory, blah blah. But it raised issues of abuse of underage girls. Yeah, unfortunately, civil rights leaders and cheating or figures isn't really anything new. So for this, people, uh, adultering, not good, but people will look over it. But yeah, and like I said, I need to emphasize people who just had streams. Cesar Chavez is being accused of specifically sleeping with two underage girls, one starting at the age of 12 and the other one starting at the age of 13, 14 years old. So it isn't just like he to emphasize, it wasn't just like, oh, she was 17. Even then, that's gross because he's like 40 years old, or she was 18 or whatever, or he didn't know. He knew these girls. He knew one of them at the age of 8, and he slept with her when she became 12. Right. This was very thought out, intentional type of abuse. Yeah, adultery is bad, but not criminal. Yeah, exactly. Lewis says she started seeing a therapist at the age of 16, 4 years after the abuse began, and continues to see one today. Picked up a drinking habit, a panic attack habit, a bad relationship habit. She suffered from panic attacks and depression, has trouble being in public spaces or being part of crowds. I feel like he's been a shadow over my life. I want him to stop following me around. It's time. Hopefully this helps. So yeah, Forder captures the closeness between the family of Ana Murgueña, bottom left, and Mr. Chavez, left. He was the best man at the wedding when Ana was 8, in which Miss Murgueña's father married Ana's stepmother, union volunteer. So yeah, so here she is as a little girl at the age of 8, and here is her would-be abuser. And like I said, not to emphasize, he's not abusing her here yet. He waited till she was 12. So yeah, still extremely gross. Yeah, it doesn't even matter when if whatever. He would ask Mr. Garner, who was told by then to help him dictate letters or work community's phone switchboard. She was proud of being to mimic his signature so masterfully that she would sign out documents. Okay. So she was pretty close. Ms. Migreña said she was attracted to Mrs. Chavez and was initially surprised by his touches, but says she felt chosen. Part of it was, why was someone like that like someone like me? She said, Mrs. Chavez told her not to tell anyone because other girls would be jealous of their special bond. Like I said, I'm not skipping over because I'm not interested. I want to encourage people to read the article themselves. So here's a statement by Dolores Huerta. She is one of the co-founders of the farmers movement. I'm nearly 96 years old, and for the last 60 years have kept a secret because I believe that exposing the truth will hurt the farm worker movement. I have spent my entire life fighting for. I've encouraged people to always use their voice. Following the New York Times multi-year investigation into sexual misconduct by Cesar Chavez, I no longer stay silent and must share my own experience. As a young mother in the 1960s, I experienced two separate sexual encounters with Cesar. The first time I was manipulated and pressured to having sex with him, and I didn't feel I could say no because he was someone that I admired, my boss, and the leader of the movement I had already devoted years of my life to. The second time I was forced against my will in an environment where I felt trapped. I'd experienced abuse and sexual violence before, and I convinced myself these were incidents that I had endured alone and in secret. Both sexual encounters with Cesar led to pregnancies. I chose to keep my pregnancy secret, and after the children were born, I arranged for them to be raised by other families that could give them stable lives. Over the years, I've been fortunate to develop a deep relationship with these children who are now close to my other children, their siblings. But even then, no one knew the truth about how they were conceived until just a few weeks ago. That must be heartbreaking for the two other kids. Carried the secret for as long as I did because building the movement and securing farm worker rights was my life's work. The formation of a union was the only vehicle to accomplish and secure those rights, and I wasn't going to let Cesar or anyone else get in the way. I channeled everything I had into advocating on behalf of millions of farm workers and others who were suffering and deserve equal rights. I have never identified myself as a victim. I now understand that I am a survivor of violence, of sexual abuse, of domineering men who saw me and other women as property or things to control. I'm telling my story because the New York Times has indicated that I was not the only one. There were others. Women are coming forward sharing that they were sexually abused and assaulted by Cesar Chavez when they were girls and teenagers. The knowledge that he hurt young girls sickens me. My heart aches for everyone who suffered alone and in silence for years. There are no words strong enough to condemn those deplorable actions that he did. Cesar's actions do not reflect the values of our community and our movement. Worker movement has always been bigger and far more important than any one individual. Cesar's actions do not diminish the permanent improvements achieved for farm workers with the help of thousands of people. We must continue to engage and support our community, which needs advocacy and activism now more than ever. I will continue my commitment to workers as well as my commitment to women's rights to make sure we have a voice and that our communities are treated with dignity and given the equity that they have so long been denied. I've kept this secret long enough. My silence ends here. And amazing. Shout out to you for speaking up. And yeah, but I think that's as far as I'm going to read regarding this New York Times investigation. Like I said, read it yourself. It is on the New York Times. It is this. It's written by Manny Fernandez and Sarah Hertz. So yeah, definitely check it out. And as for me, is like I was saying, I don't know. I feel very, like I said, the respect for Cesar Chavez has been on a downward spiral, right? I think how much Latinos respect Cesar Chavez has already been extremely low. A lot of us has have already seen him as a self-hating Mexican, as a like I guess the best way to put it, like if he was alive today, he would be a Latino for Trump, right? That's how respected or not very respected he was, right? But at least regarding of how kind of like hateful he seemed to be, at minimum, at least it seemed like he did something right for the Latino community. At least he was somewhat as a positive figure, right? Even with all those terrible things about him, at least he was somewhat of a positive figure. But this this is unforgivable. This cannot be looked over. This is just like I said, it's disheartening, right? Because we don't got much as a Latino. I feel like we really don't have much when it comes to like not people to look up to, but like civil leaders, like people who fought for our rights. And like I said, like you're made to feel that someone like Cesar Chavez is why you have the life you have today, is why you have it. I don't want to say so good, but better than you would have, right? Um, but I'm happy that this came out. I'm happy the truth is out there. I'm happy that we could at least start forgetting Cesar Chavez, and we could start building up the other people who deserve the spotlight, like Dolores, who fortunately suffered a lot for this movement. Unfortunately, probably suffered the most uh, for this movement, where she had to stay silent, where she had to kind of just take what happened to her for the movement, right? Like she suffered what all the other Latinos were suffering, plus that, plus within her own community. So yeah, reminds me of Cosby. Yeah, change it to Dolores Huerta. Yeah, right now it seems like they're gonna make it what's it called, Farmers Workers Day. Which one? His movement that you feel did that for Latino. He's just one guy part of it. Exactly. And that's the other thing to emphasize. He is one guy, a part of a bigger movement, right? He kind of just became the face, because you kind of do need a face for these kind of movements. Obviously, when these things happen, there's like multiple people involved. He himself is listed as a co-founder of the movement. Um, he just happened to get be the face of it, because they wanted a it's just something that's important. They don't have days dedicated to women. Yeah, it'd be nice. That's her. Those incredibly strong words. She has Presidential Medal of Freedom from Obama for work towards movement. Chose the movement over herself, and she shouldn't have to. Yeah, exactly. It's heartbreaking she felt to keep this so long. And yeah, well, yeah, I can't imagine how hard it's been for these women to see him honor so many ways. And that's literally what was the straw that broke the camel's back. Thank Rick the Ruler. Thank you for the 50. I'm unfortunately I'm not gonna thank everybody just because I'm talking about things that are serious. I'm gonna turn that off for now. He's gonna beep for a while, but I appreciate Rick the Ruler for gifting subs, especially when I'm talking about in a topic that I think is important to talk about and important to put out. Because I do feel like as I grew up, I realized that people don't grow up the same as me, right? Like especially growing up in Los Angeles, I realized people live a different life than me. Cesar Chavez is a blip in a lot of people's history books and how they learn history. Not really a blip for me. It's something, like I said, it's pushed on us hard and a lot, and you're told so much. It's super important, and you need to really really pay your respects to this guy. This guy is like he's presented to you as like Latino fucking Jesus, bro. Like it's he's presented to you like so fucking hard on his significance. And at the time, like you could argue it was significant, right? Because the farmers movement is important. But Cesar Chavez is not the farmers movement, you know? And I think that's what we need to walk away with, is that he is not the farmers movement. He's some guy who let this praise get to his head, who let this movement get to his head, who thought he was allowed to just do all these terrible things to women, especially young girls. That's the most sickening part. These young girls who didn't know any better, who were made to believe by this disgusting man that they were special, that he chose them, and yeah, it's terrible. And I did see this TikTok. I have to the hard this guy kind of explained. We need smarter people to talk to us. Oh, hold on, I need to turn it off here. Is that I don't want to see that? It's a lot of beeps and it's very distracting. But like I said, thank you, Rick the Ruler. Thank you for everybody who got a free gifty from Rick the Ruler. Appreciate it a lot, man. Like I said, thank you for doing that while I'm talking about something important. Uh, well, let's see. I don't know what these allegations are going to be, but I figure it was a good time for everyone that Cesar Chavez was a racist who, if he were left here, would probably be out wearing a mask and kidnapping immigrants for the streets. Well, he technically did do that. He worked with Border Patrol to get undocumented workers.
News that's coming out about Cesar Chavez today, because I thought it was a well-known fact that he was not a good person, who was racist, took the credit from the work of Filipino people, and the only reason that he was chosen as the face of the movement and got his own holiday out of it was because he placated white people. Let's get this out of the way first, but trigger warning, he does use a slur.
Oh yeah, sure, but we're speaking of the legal ones. You know, we don't want Mexico to export its poverty to us. The citizen is out of a job because of the wetbacks. They're coming in by the thousands, just unbelievable.
And no, it wasn't a one-time fluke.
And then all of a sudden, yesterday morning, they brought in 220 wetbacks. These are the illegals from Mexico.
This is Larry Itliong, a trained labor leader who in September of 1965 started the grape strike. You see, at the time, Filipino workers exclusively worked picking the grapes at the farms. But because of the horrible working conditions on the farms owned by white farmers, Larry decided enough was enough, and the Filipino workers went on strike. So the white farmers brought in Mexican laborers, many of whom were already part of the United Farm Workers Union led by Cesar Chavez. And it was Larry Itliong who had to repeatedly try to convince Cesar Chavez, who was not receptive to listening to Larry, by the way, because he looked down on Filipinos. But it was Larry who convinced him that if the Filipinos and Mexicans did not band together against the white farm owners,
Shout out to my Filipinos out there. I love my Mexican Asians. Shout out to you guys.
who were utilizing the bottom of the barrel mentality, where the Filipinos and Mexicans were what? Fighting to be overworked and underpaid in unsafe working conditions? What? So the two of them, and Dolores Huerta, who co-founded the United Farm Workers Union with Cesar Chavez, but was actually the one doing all of the work behind the scenes, they formed the National Farm Workers Association, and the Mexicans joined the Filipinos on the strike against the grape farms. And because Larry was self-aware with his hard exterior and how he came off to the white folks, he let charismatic Cesar Chavez be the face of the movement, which led to Robert Kennedy coming to talk to Cesar Chavez. And because the civil rights movement with the black community was happening in the South at the same time, this strike that was originally about humane working conditions, and because it encompassed multiple people of color communities, this evolved into the West Coast version of the civil rights movement. And all of a sudden, white people all across the United States and Canada started boycotting and stopped
Shout out Canada.
buying grapes. But the two people who actually deserve a holiday is Larry Itliong and Dolores Huerta, who, by the way, is still fighting for human rights. Because this racist, who if he was alive today would immediately join ICE, does not deserve the recognition and credit.
Yeah. Quick rundown. So this is before the actual article came out, because news came out that things were being halted for Cesar Chavez. And yeah, I wonder what his reaction to the actual news is. He must be sure. What is it? I click his profile. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, there you go. He immediately went in.
Cesar Chavez was a fucking rapist and PDF. And just a warning, the details are fucking vile. But
Okay, I already talked about it. We don't need him to talk about it. But I'm just losing your mind. So, what the hell's up with John? North Korea invented burritos? We're gonna take a little detour.
North Korea claims to have invented burritos.
And then the music. This is a propaganda video released in North Korea to push the consumption of burritos. Interesting.
Look, even kids can eat burritos too.
Huh. According to North Korea, burrito were invented in 2011 by Kim Jong-il. What? Kim Jong-il? But he died in 2011. Maybe right before he died, he's like, I give you my final present to you, my dear people. Man, what are those?
Okay, that looks fire though. What the?
I gotta say, it looks good. I feel like comparisons like Chipotle, that would win.
That looks pretty good, actually. Yeah. I think I'm gonna just give some. I'm not gonna end the stream right away, but just got been talking about it for an hour. Closing thoughts. Has been disappointing. Like I said, the popularity of Cesar Chavez has been going down. I think, like I said, a lot of Latinos already kind of did not respect Cesar Chavez. Let me open the tip thing. I hope it's not going up. It's still going. Still going. But yeah, it has been going down already. Whenever people already ask me personally about Cesar Chavez, I was already, fuck that guy. He's a piece of shit. Racist. So I already had negative feelings towards him, but I wouldn't go on my way and be like, you have to get rid of Cesar Chavez and you have to replace it with like, a lot of people did feel that way. It wasn't really in me to kind of go that way because, as fortunately all the victims emphasize, there was some importance to having a Latino civil rights leader, or at least a face um, out there who was important to Mexican civil rights. So yeah, and there's some because Mia's making a lot of noise, so she's like distracting me. Um, God, I keep losing there's one thing I keep on trying to say, and I keep forgetting to say it. It will get to me because I'm talking about Caesar. Yeah, work chat. To be honest, most never cared about it. We just enjoyed the day. I said, hey, that's our work off. Yeah, I think, like I said, like how much we actually cared about Cesar Chavez was. Oh yeah, and I think what's so fascinating, which or at least I find fascinating, is why we kind of ignore these things, or just kind of like when we find out like these people are actually bad, or we find out about later. It's more to do with the fact that back then we should just learn stuff in school, and we just never really looked into it. Like back then, you had to really go out of your way to kind of find out more. Now I'll be scrolling through Instagram or whatever else you use, and I'll just see a video just blasting me with information. Usually it's like, here's why this person is evil. Here's why this person. So yeah, I think kids nowadays are much more informed and care a lot more. The other issue is that people don't do follow-ups where you're blasted with this information and you treat it as fact because someone who is confident is telling it to you. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. But well, you guys can see Mia a little here in the back in the background. I swear she's just chilling. She's chilling. She's not on the ground. We have a little rug for her. But yeah, it's sad. Hope they never find MLK's Reddit account. Yeah. No more code switching with saying Cesar. Yeah, you got everyone's got to say Caesar. Yeah, but and the other thing I find fascinating is that Mia is gonna have a whole different history lesson than I did. I don't. I wonder if they're even gonna teach her about Cesar Chavez when she's going. What is Mia doing? I have given Mia her entire toy box, and she is taking every toy out of her toy box because she gets in a mood where she wants to just play in her toy box. What me and Leslie do is that we just bring out her toy box, we let her take everything out, and eventually she either gets in the toy box. It's not really a toy box. I'm calling it a toy box. It's this little like soft basket. I'll show you guys right now. It's like this super soft basket full of toys. So she's just kind of messing with that, and she digs through it, and she just. My name is Cut. Oh no, Cesar. Yeah, Cosby was hurting a lot of people while he was. I gotta give them membership. You thank Rick the Ruler for that, man. Playpen, no play. Mia's a free. We do have a playpen. We are still using a little bit more, but we are a free roamer type believer. So yeah. Manny wants a feet cam. Wait? Is that Manny asking for a feet cam? My buddy Manny. Oh, it is my buddy Manny. No feet cam. Kevin, what do you think about the Cesar Chavez news? You pro Cesar Chavez still? Kevin always talks about how much he loves Cesar Chavez. So must be heartbreaking for him. Very heartbreaking. Cool, send me stuff. LOL. Free Mia. Nah, Mia's good. Mia's free. Oh my gosh, she's like, she's gonna fall. She's gonna hurt herself. She's crazy, man. I can't contain her. I've given up. Oh my god, I hate you. Yeah. No, never mind. Kevin hates Caesar. Kevin hates Cesar Chavez for the workers' rights stuff. He's like, bro, like that workers' rights are bullshit. That's my buddy Kevin. I was like, bro, you gotta chill. He's anti-worker, pro-capitalist. It's crazy. Yeah, me as a free roam baby. No cage baby here, free roam baby. Yeah, Pepito. Kevin the Scab, yeah, he's a scab, bro. Fortunately. What else can we talk about? I'm over Cesar Chavez. Workers' rights. Oh yeah, let me move on to okay. Enough with Cesar Chavez. We'll go to something lighter. There's this dude that's just like he's kind of low calish. He's called the faithful sheriff. So there's interesting lore with this guy. I'll just play this clip. This clip is mostly relevant. It's just so you guys get a feel of this guy.
Happy Thursday, everybody. It's the faithful sheriff. And today we're going into Fortnite, a new season, to tell people about the good Lord. And then later Overwatch. So don't forget, everybody's welcome. Unless you're going to be a troll, and then we're going to have to hit you with the banhammer. And we don't want that to happen. So come on in and have a good time. Enjoy the chat. Enjoy the show. If you're at work or school, that's okay. We hope to see you later in the VOD. Can't wait to see you there. God bless and Godspeed.
So this guy is the faithful sheriff. He used to be called Doctor. What the fuck? Why does it get me out of that? He used to be called something else. He was called like Doctor something. But his whole shtick, and you're gonna be mind blown, is that he plays Fortnite as a peanut clone, and he tries to convert people into Christians. So let's see if he does that in this clip.
You scraps.
Oh, don't ignore all incoming friend requests.
Okay.
Ignore all incoming friend requests.
Besides for you?
They're not me. Is there a way?
Not?
No. Lock and load. Oh. Actually, I want to change heroes.
Where is he? He's like this weird locale now. And so, from my understanding, is that he used to be a Doctor Disrespect clone. Let's see if I can find his original faithful sheriff. So you can find his here. Here's his YouTube channel. And then he just did a whole rebrand. Let me see. Doctor. Oh, I can't click because I can't just click on a link regarding this guy because people on Twitter. I know it's gonna sound weird. People on Twitter give his peanut character a cock. Oh, here you go, Doctor Witnesser. So yeah, so if you guys looking up the faithful sheriff content, you might see some peanut cock. So be careful. So yeah, he started off as Doctor Witnesser, Doctor Chudster. There you go. So this was his old account where he pretended to be like a Doctor Disrespect kind of guy.
Believe in other people's religions, like for example Judaism or like Muslim.
That doesn't make any sense, to be honest. Like, of course I believe that they exist. I do not believe all religions lead to heaven, okay? That's not what the Bible teaches. That's not what it teaches.
Yeah.
God teaches that we've all sinned, and the only way to heaven is through his son, Jesus. And we have to repent and turn away from our sins.
And you obviously believe in Judaism, right? Because Jesus was Jewish?
I don't... Hostile vehicle! Judaism is... a separate...
By the way, he does not believe in shit. He's doing stuff. Yeah, that's the thing. He just copies whoever he's a fan of. I think he obviously stopped being a Doctor Disrespect clone. I don't know if there's kids on there. He stopped being Doctor Disrespect. I don't know how long he kind of stuck with the shtick for a while, but he stopped being Doctor Disrespect clone. I'm assuming because Doctor Disrespect was caught talking to minors. Hey, what do you think of I can't say that with paragari kuri. My freaking father-in-law tries to make me say that word. It's like the hardest word to say in Spanish. Debating religion with an actual child. But yeah, but now he's the faithful sheriff. And yeah, he just prayed. And it's weird because it's like he's kind of a bait. He wants like I think that what makes him kind of cringe is that he desperately wants the burnt peanuts like he desperately wants to burst.
Well,
oh, why should do that? I know he desperately wants to burst peanuts like attention. Let's see if we can find something good. Oh, here, I think this is the one where he asked for.
Well, since there's so much controversy with me being a painted and all, and people accusing me of copying and all that, I'm going to leave it up to you guys, the internet. Now, you got one decision. It's either Dr. Witnesser or the Faithful Sheriff. It's up to you. Here's the deal. If you get the burnt peanut to respond to this video by saying, I release you of your peanut bones, you get your witnesser back. And I'll be gone. You got a week to do this. Now, if the burnt peanut don't respond to this video by saying I release you from your peanut bones, then I'll be the faithful sheriff forever. What you gonna be now, everybody? You want there only to be one peanut in town? So it's up to you. Get
Zero
this video
comments.
circulating. Get the peanut to respond. He either releases me from my peanut bones, or I stay like this forever. It's up to you, internet. We got a week to make it happen. And if it don't happen, well, the decision's been made. The die's been cast. The faithful sheriff is here to stay.
Yeah, so he's pretty much let Bert give me attention. Let Bert Peanut get my attention. And you know what? I seen a lot of these like Bert Peanut clones. He also called the Chudster.
Finally, somebody else has another one.
Oh, how you doing, Captain Redbeard733?
Oh, good, good. You know,
Awesome.
living the dream.
Living the dream. Awesome. That's good to hear.
You? How we doing today?
I'm doing the best I can with, having no arms and legs and being cursed as a peanut by the bungulator, but I'm doing good. I'm doing all right. I'm living my best peanut life.
I like to hear it. I like it.
Yeah, I called his friend boring, and I woke up a peanut the next morning. My only conclusion is that he cursed me.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I've been trying to get a hold of him and asking him to release me from this curse, but to no avail. So behold, day 3. But the Lord is with me. I still read my Bible. I have to have someone hold it for me because I have no arms and legs. But I'm still here. I'm still chugging along.
That's all.
I'm sorry, I've never seen the originals. Let's try for the best. Such a weird thing. Isn't that weird? Like, I'm gonna go on these games, talk to kids, and try to convert them into. And he talks shit about like other religions. I think I've seen clips. I was about to look for it where he makes fun of Judaism and he makes fun of like Muslims. He's apparently very racist. Because he's everything. He's everything terrible. But he's like this weird like. You want to stream? You want to take over? He's clapping. She's a chatterbox now. Listen. What happened? What else? What else happened? What else happened? Ah! She pushed me away. Ah! 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 What else happened? Ah, slapping me away. Ah, you're too strong. Oh. Ah. Everyone says she looks a lot more like me nowadays, which I kind of agree with that. It's so freaky. Here's what I'm saying. For those of you who are not parents, when you have a kid, for me, here's what freaks me out. I look into Mia's eyes and I see my eyes. And if for some reason it gives me like this weird, like existential, like not dread, but it like freaks me out. I'm like, dude, it's so weird that she fucking looks like I see myself in her eyes. She's like, you're too crazy. She was just holding your head going, ah. So Mia acts crazy when she thinks we're alone. Mia's assuming she doesn't know I'm streaming, so she assumes we're alone, so she's acting crazy. That's Leslie's little twin. How old is she? She is 10 months. She turned 10 months. She did this is Mia. Now we're going off track. I like going off track though. I love Joker. Holding hat. This is Mia. This is Mia right now. She was doing this. How should we react to the haircut? Dude, so I went and picked her up from my my mother-in-law, her grandma's house, and she was like kind of in a bad mood because my her grandma was struggling putting her to sleep. And then when she saw me, she was a bit worried. She was like, mm. She was like, mm. And then I smiled at her, and then she got happy. So she recognized my smile, and it chilled her out. But yeah, she was not happy. And then the next day, when I came home to pick her up on Wednesday from the babysitter, she was still kind of worried. But now she's chill. She's chill with me now. She's not worried with me at all. So yeah. New youth pastor meta. Really sketchy. I'm gonna stay in the forest where I live. Yeah, stay in the forest, gun butter. I have a vivid memory of when my dad shaved his mustache and cried. Yeah, I was gonna shave it because I was gonna request them to also shave my beard for fun, but I knew I shouldn't do that because it would freak me out even more. So I was like, I gotta have from the bottom down. I need to at least look like myself. Do you see Snark calling you out because you have to babysit? Who cares? What the hell? Who cares? Here, my value to their opinion. Who cares? Babysit. Leslie says she babysits too, guys. It's just what you say, you know. But yeah, I take care of my daughter. I think you have killed me. Nah. Oh yeah, if I freaked her out, yeah, that would have been very, very scary for her. Yeah. Who cares? You mean being an actual parent? Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I'll choose my words. Because baby says, you know what it is? It's just the easy thing to say. You know, like you know, take care of my kid. You know, what more do people want? What more do people want? You know, this idea. You know, here's I guess my take on is like, why do I care about people's expectation of perfection from like beyond flawed people, extremely flawed people, right? You, you dropped my phone. You know, do you expect me to believe the people who are snarking all day got it together? You know, do you expect me to believe that? So yeah, you know, so I've been digging deep lately for things going on. Someone complained about Ethan wore a shirt in the pool. You know what's funny? He wore a shirt in the pool, and then he was like, after the pool, he took off his shirt. And he was just chilling shirtless for a bit. And I'm like, I went up to, I was like, bro, you wear a shirt in the pool, but you don't wear. Just to emphasize, he wears a shirt so he doesn't get sunburned. Which, like, I mean, realistically, that makes some sense. But yeah, yeah. I'm not trying to be mean. I know you're not trying to be Mister Finley Mac Yorkie Poo. You're not that type of guy. But yeah, listen, you gotta be. I got too many. I got it too good. I got too many. She's just dropping my phone. Oh, sorry. I got it too good, guys. I got it too good. It's hard to bring me down. I'm too up there. I'm too high up. You can't bring me down. You know. We gotta go. What's it called? You gotta be able to go bar to bar with me to bring me down. You know. Ah. Okay. You keep slamming my phone on the ground, so I'm just gonna put you on the ground. Listen, first, if you're gonna criticize me, you gotta criticize your own parents first, man. I know they done shit to you, man. I know they fucked your ass up, man. You wish you had me as your dad, buddy. The only name I tried to slate is someone yelling at Olivia for playing with Mia. Like, how dare they let someone else hold my baby? So weird. I trust everybody in the office to play with Mia. You know who? You know who's extremely wonderful with Mia. I'll give them a quick shout out. Tamara's amazing with Mia. AB and Lena were amazing with Mia. And not that anybody else was doing a terrible job, but just from like experience I saw with children, them three were particularly fantastic because everyone else just kind of held her for like there's a difference between like holding baby and spending some time with her and like trying to take care of her. And Tamara, AB, and Lena were very very good at taking care of her, and that means a lot to me. It was one of those things where like it's those like it takes a village. because I have to work, but I also have to take care of my daughter on Tuesdays, right? Because a babysitter is expensive. Fortunately, I have family members that have to work. You know, we all live in Los Angeles; it's very expensive, so I have to work. And I also don't want to like push. And look, and work understands. If I told work I can't, I stay home every Tuesday just to add because work has given me the privilege of working from home on Tuesdays, where I do a little here and there. But for the after dark thing, I want to be in office just because it's easier to do, and also I want to like help out a little bit more in the office on Tuesdays. So that's why I also showed up. But yeah, it's great to work somewhere where they care about my own child and they help me take care of her too. So it's awesome. It's great. So yeah, and I'm sorry if you don't have that in your life, right? I'm sorry if you don't got a workplace that cares about you, because everyone should have that type of work environment. So hopefully you get there one day. Hopefully you find work. And I always watch my kids though. So dude, it's hard. I can't imagine whenever I'm alone with Mia. Like I was alone with Mia Monday night because Leslie had a work trip. So so I was home alone with Mia, and is that luckily? I mean, actually, Monday night wasn't that hard. Uh, but me and Leslie are always together. And whenever Leslie's alone, she talks about how hard it is to just be alone with Mia. And when I'm alone, it's also hard, man. Like I can't imagine being a single parent because it is very difficult having to do everything. Dude, you know what's the hardest part of being alone with your baby? Having to go take a fucking shit, dude. That's the hardest part. Having to do anything in the bathroom, take a shit, go shower. That's hard as fuck, dude. Because like I have to, put somewhere like either I put her in her crib if the playpen's out, I put her in the playpen, or I put her in a little standing jumper thing. But she hates being alone. So even if I put her there, she gets like she'll be cool for a minute, and then like she gets very upset. So like I gotta just fucking blast out my shit if I gotta, or I can't take a shower. I have to find the window to take a shower. Luckily for me, on Monday night, she was extremely tired, so she just knocked out. I was able to jump in the shower, and I was good. My wife gets into everything, but it's because my wife's in the hospital. Oh, hopefully your wife's doing okay. So, yeah, same. Nobody watch my kids surviving. Yeah, it's work, but yeah. So it's one of those things where like I know like it'll be nice when she's a bit more independent, and sh- be nice when she's more independent. But I know I'm gonna miss having this little baby around. Like it'll be nice when she could roam around and she knows danger. She understands like this will hurt me because right now obviously I have to watch her. You know, but yeah, just shower when the baby showers. No, dude. Even if I wanted to do that, I can't even do that because when we bathe her, she she stands up. She tries to stand up. Like I can't imagine trying to shower and like she moves around too much, right? Like she'll either I'll slip or she'll slip if we were showering together. So yeah. So yeah. Do you have a business email? You can just do Nate Curie at business@gmail.com. So yeah, Nate Curie business at you. You guys can email me. I don't know what the fuck you guys will email me. I only use that for fucking streaming. I made that for streaming. At least started streaming because I'm stuck at home, dude. When I was on break, I started streaming more often. That was a lot of fun. I'm streaming now because Leslie comes home around like 5:30 or 6, and I like to spend time with Leslie, and I want to stream today. So yeah, what is happening? The video Carly took at the pool was so sweet. Yeah. Oh yeah, that was Mia. I don't think did I mention that was Mia's first time. I don't know if I streamed. I streamed Monday. I also streamed Sunday. I don't remember when I last streamed. But yeah, it was Mia's first time in the pool, and she loved it. You're a real roommate. Thanks, man. But yeah, I hope you're doing well. But yeah, it was Mia's first time in the pool on Saturday last week, and she had a wonderful time. She had so much fun. I have a video of her on the swings also, and she was loving the swings. That's her second time on the swings. She was loving being on the swing. She was laughing. She was crying. Not crying. She was laughing. She was cracking up. And yeah, then me react. Yeah, I said already she reacted to the bus guy. She seemed a little scared, but when I smiled, she knew it was me. So you're becoming dad. Do you notice yourself hyper aware of noises when you're sleeping, dude? Oh my god, I I uh I panic wake up when I sleep now because we put Mia in the crib and she sleeps through most of the night. But at some point, maybe around 3 or 4, we just bring her onto the bed with us because like it's it's a lot of work to like have her sleep in her own crib. Like it's not so bad anymore. Like luckily now she'll wake up sometimes and fall right back asleep. But for some reason, I don't. There's probably a reason for it. She gets to a point at night where she wakes up and she nonstop moves. She's nonstop readjusting. Like she literally ends up like sideways on the bed. She ends up upside down. She just keeps like moving in a circle, like trying to find the perfect position to sleep in. I have no idea what's causing that. I'm assuming it's common with other babies, but she nonstop gets up. She's standing up right now. Careful, Mia. Dude, she's so good at standing right now. I will say what I'm impressed with Mia right now is that she's good at standing and she's good at setting herself down. Not perfect, obviously, because she's still learning. But yeah. All right. Let me adjust her because I don't want her to fall forward. Careful. You good? Now take a seat. She does not want to sit. She is standing, dude. Boop. Good job. All right, but yeah, she's getting ready to walk too, man. She really wants to. She really wants to walk. Ramia, you really want to walk. Wait till she starts teething and sleep progressing. She's already teething and she's already sleep progressing. The she's been better this week. Last week, man, rough time last week. She was doing yells that me and Leslie never heard before. That's how bad the teething was. And we have teething gel. It helps to an extent, but when she's like her mouth is hurting and she's tired, it is hell. It was hell for both of us last week. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Finley, Mac Yorkie Poo, for becoming a member. I appreciate that. Just stand up, she'll be on her own walking. Yeah. She's getting good at standing up. I think she's gonna be like an early bird on that. Yeah. Turning 30 has me wanting to chop. I don't have a boyfriend, let alone a husband, start a family. Yeah, me and Leslie luckily had our Mia. Wow, thanks for the 50, Mr. Finley Mac Yorkie Poo. I really appreciate it. Also, I like that. You know what? I thought your picture was Alfredo, but it looks like it's your own dog. Yeah. Let me see. Can I turn on the tips now? Does it go regardless? Is it at the end? I think it's kind of glitched because I turned it off. It's fine. I'll turn on for the next one. Um, but yeah, it's been great. It's been a good time, man. You'll definitely find someone you just gotta be. Being a baby sounds hard. Being a baby sound is the hardest thing in the world, I think, because he is Finley. I'm Stephanie. Oh, that's so nice. Yeah, you have a cute doggy. I don't know if I could. You want me to show it real quick? But yeah, look at Finley's doggy. Is there a way to? No way to zoom in. Here we go. Sorry, I'm blasting your name on screen, but look at that. Look at that cute puppy. So cute. Love doggies. As for a baby, I could say it is. Yeah. Yeah. It's all about having kids. It's great. I would think for people who want kids, it's fantastic, man. But you have to want kids. You can't just I think I always emphasize that is not a necessity. to have kids. I don't think that's a part. I see it as like it's an optional detour that you take when you want to have kids, right? It's like I'm ready for this. I'm done with this part of my life, and I'm ready to do this part of my life instead, right? There's like different paths. I know with people who don't want to have kids, they usually tend to travel more because they have more income. Like it's two paths. You get more income, you end up doing more, spending more money, traveling more, or you have a kid. That's what you do with the extra income. So yeah, when you're 10 months old, the 10th month is the 10% of your life. That's true. When you're 80, that's 8 years long. That's also true. I don't be too old when I start being parent. I think when you hit 30, because here it is, when you're in your 20s, I feel like you need to be dating for a while to kind of make those hard choices of like when to get married and if you want to have kids, when you want to have kids. But I feel like when you're 30, I feel like a year or two of dating, you could just get married. Because at that point, if if you're in your 30s and you're still like, I don't really know what I want, I, I feel like you should, right? You should have done enough where you're like, this is what I kind of want out of life. I want to get married one day. I want to have kids. I want this many kids. If I find a partner, here's my beliefs and my views. If I find a partner who believes like I do, then awesome. If I don't, then I'll just move on to the next person, right? In theory, I feel like it should be easier, right? So I think the longer you wait, the faster it will come your way. Scary to think about how 3 years ago was just a totally different concept at 18 compared to now. Oh yeah, bro. Because 3 years ago I was 27, and damn, I was 2023. I was just working at UCLA, and I fucking hated that job. I think I talked about it before how much I hated that job, and it was terrible. And then I moved on to a post production gig where the job wasn't too bad. It was more like management was fucking hell. And literally, I'm friends with all these people who used to work there still because we all kind of trauma bonded working there, and it was absolute hell. And then 2024, like I worked there for 10 months. Like I worked there for so little, but like I've made like lifetime friends there in 10 months. That's how bad it was. Like the 10 months I was there, I made lifetime friends from it. And then 10 months later, I started working at AH3 in April, and it's been history since then. Now I'm here. When I officially started H3, I started in, God, I don't remember the exact day. It's mid to late April. I got hired, and that's when I started working there. And yeah, it's been alright. Totally different. It feels like it's all gone fast, but I look back and like things. Obviously, a lot of things have changed, right? Different people, completely different people nowadays. I think it's saying like five remaining like quote unquote OG people. Like the actual OGs were like Dan, Ian, and Zach, and then AB's still there. Dan, Zach, AB, Love, and Lena are still there, and everyone else is new. And it's crazy to think about how many new people there are now. But it's cool, real cool seeing all these new people. Like I was kind of the start of like the next generation, but I feel like the next generation didn't officially start until like Morgan and Tamara got hired. I felt like I was a extra for the final season, and then they moved me over to the spin-offs or the sequel series, right? We're doing UCLA. I got tricked. So they for UCLA, because I was doing production work, they told me I was going to be doing kind of like helping them work their shows over. They're like, oh, because of my experience, they're like, oh yeah, we want you to like help us build up our live streaming or like our events kind of thing because we're trying to build up have more equipment to do events around UCLA. I was like, cool. And then I was just doing like shitty AV stuff where literally all I did was connect like a HDMI cable and a XLR cable if the person was using a microphone, and that was it. That was my entire job, and I felt it was so boring. It was so boring. Yeah, okay, meals grabbing. You know what? This is where you fell last time. I don't know what's on here. This is mommy's book. You can't just grab mommy's stuff. Angel's grab mommy stuff. Oh yeah. It's a great mix of the first and new. Once Cam left, I originally felt bitter about new people joining, but now I love the new addition in the crew. I still love the old crew that left, but everyone's so unique in their way. Yeah. Yeah. No longer whites only, by the way. We lost the white only crew. All jokes, obviously, but it's yeah. Ah, whoa! You pee pee. I gotta change your bed. What was to say? You gotta sacrifice. You want to find someone. You gotta put in time. Oh yeah, dating's hard, man. What happened? What happened? What happened? You're talking. You want to talk? You want to talk? What happened? She's breathing into the mic. What happened? Uh huh. Uh huh. Uh huh. Uh huh. Yeah. Uh huh. Uh huh. Uh huh. Yeah. Ah. All right, don't smack it. It hurts people's ears. You're hurting people. You guys like what Mia said? Dude, she was just going off on you. Ah! Ah! She's attacking everybody. Ah! Yeah, man, the stream in a second. It's been a fun time. But we gotta do other things, right? We got other things to do. We gotta prep for mommy to get home. I gotta start coming up with dinner plans. I don't know what to make for dinner. I have no idea. Oh, we might have to go shopping for something. We'll see. I'll see how Leslie feels. But we do. I'm the one that does dinner, and I'm clean up a little, clean up Mia's mess because we gotta have dinner and we're gonna watch The Pit, right, Mia? That's what we're doing today. That's what we do every Thursday. We hang out, we watch The Pit, and then we go for a walk, and then Mia goes to sleep. She's got much to say, dude. She has a lot to say. She's a chatterbox. All right, say bye, Mia. Right, I'm trying to teach her how to say bye because she knows how to clap, but she doesn't know how to say bye. She might be getting tired. Are you getting tired? Maybe moving around a lot. All right. I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna try to. What's your favorite type of food? I feel like I just like Mexican food, dude. I'm not even gonna lie. I ain't even gonna lie. I just like making Mexican food. Yeah, I might go to a Vallarta and just pick something up there. Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna go, guys. I need to start my evening, but it's been a wonderful afternoon with you guys. Thank you for listening to talk about Cesar Chavez. It means a lot to be able to express myself, or at least have my own platform to express myself regarding that. Because, yeah, I don't like chatting much on the show, just because I am busy doing other stuff like switching and thinking of funny gags during the show. But yeah, so thank you for everyone to come in here listening. If I was able to teach you something, I'm very happy about that too. So yeah, so fuck Cesar Chavez is he does, but I think the important thing to take away is that he does not define that movement, right? He was just a face, and yeah, there's other people to praise, like Dolores Huerta, right? Someone who's fortunately had to sacrifice a lot for the movement, more than she needed to. But thank you to Dolores. I hope you find peace, and I hope you are the one of the new faces of the movement that you helped build. And yeah. Anyways, everyone else have a great night. I'll see you guys tomorrow on the H3 show. And my next live stream will most likely be Saturday morning or Sunday morning. I do usually do a Sunday stream. But yeah. Bye bye. Say bye, Mia. Bye bye.